Start with Pittsburgh. I'm going to go trending up. First of all, rookie quarterback second-year quarterback on his rookie contract. We know historically that's kind of the way to shape the roster around a quarterback who's not making a ton of money yet. Yeah. And let's be real here. Let's be honest about Kenny Pickett. The last 5 or 6 games, he played really good football. Turned the football over less, was more productive, started to use his legs in better, like in more wise ways. Like wasn't just running like crazy, but when he needed to, he was getting outside the pocket. He was moving good. So we got to be honest about Pittsburgh. They are an ascending team. They have cap space. They have basically 2 first-round picks. They have the 17th right now, and then they also have
the 34th.
Well, no, 32nd. But it's technically a second-round pick because Miami vacated their first-round pick. So we got a second-round pick from the Bears. Their second-round pick. Well, they're leading off, right? They're number 1 overall. So their second-round pick would have been 33. But since Miami vacated, they got their pick vacated. So there's only 31 first-round picks. So we get the 32nd pick, which is basically a first-round pick.
Yeah, that's huge.
So, I mean, that's a trending up team.
That 100% is. And
draft capital, cap space.
You saw
young quarterback on the rise.
You saw what you needed to with Kenny this year.
100%.
That was the big thing. He didn't have to look like an MVP.
Yeah.
He didn't have to win you an AFC Championship game. He didn't have to take you to the playoffs. All you had to do was to make sure you didn't miss on Kenny last year.
Yeah, I agree.
And we saw that. Steelers going up makes sense.
All right, so let's go with the Buffalo Bills. So I'm going to go down here. I'm actually looking up the cap space right now because I totally forgot to look that up.
Look, it's shaky because we've now seen Josh Allen take a step back without Brian Daboll, and it's interesting. Like, you can't...
So, I mean, right now the Bills are $20 million over the cap going into this year.
Yeah, you can't bank on that.
So no cap space. Draft capital is fine, but they're so good that they're not going to be drafting in the top 10, 15 for the next, what? Until Josh Allen
is done,
yeah. Seriously. So your drafts are going to be okay, but you really got to hit on late round picks, and you don't have any cap space. And let's be real about this. Without Brian Daboll, without the really, really good coordinator that he was, Josh Allen regressed. Let's call it what it is. Yep. There's no run game. I don't like the offensive line. I think outside of Stephon Diggs, there's not a go-to number 2 target.
It didn't look creative at all. Like, the one thing that stood out with Buffalo like 2 years ago was how creative that offense was and how they could build a scheme around Josh Allen. Did not see much of that this year. So how are you going to bank on that, hang your hat on that organization trending up as a whole?
It's just on Josh Allen's shoulders, and without Daboll, he's regressed. I can't count on that.
100%. Bills are going down.
Let's go with Dallas. I think Dallas is a clear going down
another
as well.
Descending team.
Yeah, another descending team. So Dak's contract starts to kick in. Let's see. With the cap, they're $7.5 million over. So, I mean, they're going to have to part ways with somebody. Probably one of their defensive linemen, maybe DeMarcus Lawrence. I don't know. I think he's fantastic, but you might have to. You have to really start exploring, is Zeke the right guy? What's the dead cap hit on him? You got to start looking at things like that. Tony Pollard, I would say
he was a significantly better running back.
More productive back. He's more explosive. I think CD's a fine number 1, but if he shows out for this year, you're going to have to pay him.
But you got to pay Micah soon.
You got to pay Micah soon. You got to pay CeeDee Lamb soon. You got to pay Trayvon Diggs soon. It's really great when you get one draft where they all hit, but it's also tough because now they're all up for a contract at the same time.
You can't keep them all.
It's very, very tough. I would say trending down for sure.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins. I think Miami sideways feels about right to me. I think if Tua comes back, which all indications are that Tua is coming back, that's a 9-10 win team tops. That's probably getting bounced in the first round if they're lucky enough to get into the playoffs. To be honest, that's kind of, is that their ceiling? It feels like their ceiling with him. It does. He looks outclassed against Buffalo and New England, like the really solid defensive teams, or when they play star quarterbacks, the Mahomes, the Lawrence, the Herberts.
It's almost like he's prepared for really easily by other teams.
Yeah, but also, so the reason they're not trending down, though, I will say, is they still have really good offensive talent. I love their coach. And let's be real, Tua is super competent. Yes. Like, he's not going to lose you games most of the time. He's going to get the ball accurately on time. I don't have a lot against Tua. I just think in the AFC, he's at best, the 6th, 7th best quarterback?
Yeah.
That's tough to win.
Yeah, it is. And like you said, the pieces around Tua, the weapons that he has, the Jalen Waddle, the Tyreek Hill, the Mike Gesicki, those type of guys,
good backs,
are the ones that are propelling him to look a little bit better than he is. I mean, you put him on
a
trailer. Yeah, he needs those pieces to like move in the right direction for him to be able to win.
Yeah.
Like you toss him on a less talented roster, like go put him in a Jacksonville. He doesn't have the success that a Trevor Lawrence has.
100%.
That's why I think Trevor Lawrence is a better quarterback.
Oh, significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
but
I agree.
people are making the argument that he's not.
No, that's ridiculous. All right, San Francisco. I think they're going sideways. First of all, I don't know what their quarterback situation is, and look, I get that Brock played well. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. He was a 7th-round pick for a reason. We saw for sure limitations with his arm and his ability to push the ball downfield consistently. And let's be real, a UCL injury is no joke, right? That is no joke. That is a 18-month rehab for a baseball player if they get Tommy John. And you're telling me he's going to be back and ready for the season? I'm not buying it. I think he misses the first half of the season. Do I trust Trey Lance? Not really. He's played about, 10 football games in the last 4 years? I don't trust that.
No, not at all.
And let's be real here. Trent Williams is aging. George Kittle's aging. Christian McCaffrey's aging. Now, granted, they still have talent. So they're not trending aging down. They're not trending down because they still have great talent, a fantastic offensive coach.
And they're going to have one of the best rosters this next year, too.
Yeah, and let's be real. Do we expect Seattle to be that good again? Probably not. I think they're about the same level, if not a little bit worse. So, and I don't think Arizona poses much of a threat. Who knows if Stafford comes back healthy? I mean, let's be real.
Or if Stafford even goes back to the Rams, because now there's talk of him going to the Jets.
That division's not quite as good as we thought it was going into this past season. So I think sideways feels about right. I don't think, let's be real, they had, 12 wins? They ripped off 10, 12 in a row.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, it's like, trending up would mean I think you're going to win more games. You look better next year than you did this year. That's a high bar. Mm-hmm. So I think they're sideways. They're going to be about to that level again.
Right.
Minnesota, I think down. I don't think they're going to go 11-1 in one-score possessions again, or 11-0 in one-possession games. That's an anomaly, right? The year before, 2021, they were 3-8.
So I mean,
it ebbs and flows. So they're not going to be 11-0 in those close games again. Let's be real. Kirk shrinks a lot, and their defense is really bad. Now I know you get Flores, which is a great get. But Kirk's not getting any younger. Justin Jefferson, you're going to have to pay him soon. So what's that look like? The offensive line's not great. Dalvin Cook stayed healthy this year, but is that really...
He didn't put up numbers.
Not numbers, and he did miss a couple games, and I don't know. I think they take a step down, and I think Green Bay is going to get a little bit better. They're probably going to win about 10 games, compete for the division. So I think Minnesota's a 10-11 win team, which is down from their 13. I don't think they plummet to the depths, but I don't think they're going to be another 13-14 win team again.
Damn, they got lucky. They got lucky that they had that 11-0 record in those close games.
100%.
That's a lot of luck. Yeah, they played well at points, but they were so shaky the whole time.
Plus, we expect Detroit to be a little bit better too. So.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Let's go with Cincinnati. I think sideways. I think a very similar reason for San Francisco is they set the bar pretty high. I mean, their AFC Championship game almost every year now is kind of the expectation. Mm-hmm. So I don't think up would be, I see them as the favorite in the AFC. I don't think that's true today. I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't looked ahead far enough. We haven't been through free agency, the draft yet, so we'll get there. But to say up would be they're far and away the contender or the favorite for the AFC. I don't think that's true.
Yeah, and since when has Cincy really started hot, blazing out of the gates?
They don't often.
They lost to Pittsburgh this year in week 1. They started looked a little bit shaky until
2-3 or something like that.
Yeah, until week 6, week 7, it didn't even look like they had a semblance of a playoff run that they could muster up.
No, I agree, and I don't think they're also going down because at the end of the day, you have Burrow, Chase.
Yeah,
who knows? But we'll see with Mixon. Mixon's talented. We'll give him that. Not the best person, but talented. Offensive line will probably get better. Defense, but I think sideways feels about right for Cincinnati. But that's everything we got. Make sure you check out the store. The orders are